Hey, Sally's Book Talk. Can you recommend some new books for me?
Great, new books are here.
Hi, welcome to Exima's New Books here. Today, we're bringing you the cultural history of masks, viruses, symbols, and identity construction from Shanghai Jiao Tong University Press. Oh, and 2020 is almost over. If you had to sum up this year in a few words, the COVID pandemic would be unavoidable, and masks have rightfully become one of the hottest everyday items.
During the pandemic, masks became like hot commodities, even leading to shortages where they were hard to find.
But hey, small things can have big histories. Ever wondered why masks were invented and how they changed over time? That's the cultural history of masks. This book tells the story of masks from their beginnings to now. Way back in ancient Rome, Pliny the Elder suggested miners use animal bladder skins over their faces to avoid dust and stay healthy. This bladder mask was just a thin skin layer, no straps or anything, but it showed early health awareness, kind of the first version of masks. Modern masks slowly emerged as humans fought diseases. Now, let's see from major pandemics in history how masks went from invention to common use, and from medical fields to everyone. In the 14th century, the Black Death swept across Europe, taking 1/3 of its population. During that pandemic, plague doctors wore beak masks, bird-shaped masks, waxed black robes, and sticks to check patients, looking like the Grim Reaper. Super creepy. These masks had weak protection and eventually became symbols of death. Even though beak masks looked weird, they were the earliest masks with pandemic functions. Modern medical masks were inspired by them. Modern medical masks originated in Europe in the late 19th century. Back then, German doctor Karl Fluge noticed germs could spread through air droplets, so in 1895 he created an anti-droplet mask. This mask was made of single-layer gauze, tied behind the head, tightly covering the mouth and nose, and became standard for doctors. After numerous improvements, the modern medical mask was formed, made of multiple layers of gauze. With metal strips for ear loops, modern medical masks are widely used by the general public. Its origins trace back to a fortuitous event in the 20th century. The Spanish flu outbreak in the early 20th century. This deadly flu spread continuously, infecting over 30% of the global population and causing about 100 million deaths. Keep in mind, the global population was only about 1.7 billion men, and this flu was the deadliest infectious disease event in history, far surpassing the death toll of World War I. And it even indirectly caused the early end of WWN, as countries had no extra troops to draft. Similar to fighting the COVID-19 pandemic today, governments back then implemented various epidemic control measures, such as isolating patients, forcibly closing public places, and promoting good personal hygiene habits. At that time, European and American countries affected by the pandemic also began promoting the use of masks. The first city to mandate mask wearing for the public was San Francisco in the US. In Western countries, requiring masks was often seen as infringing on civil liberties, but with the flu prevention urgent, people were forced to wear masks on a large scale. Hundreds of mats and masks entered common households for the first time from the medical field. The book also mentions that for the development of modern masks, a doctor from our country played an indispensable role. He is Dr. Wu Lian-te, who organized the fight against the plague outbreak in Harbin in the early 20th century, saving countless lives. That battle marked the beginning of modern scientific epidemic prevention in China. Dr. Wu implemented a series of epidemic control measures that timely contained the spread, and two of them were crucial for overcoming the epidemic. First, isolating patients. Dr. Wu borrowed over 100 train carriages and converted them into temporary quarantine facilities, somewhat like today's Funkang hospitals, which had an immediate effect in blocking disease transmission. Second, he invented and promoted the Wu mask, This mask was made by sewing 2 layers of gauze with absorbent cotton inside, effectively isolating droplets and preventing transmission. And due to its low cost, simple production, and ease of use, it quickly became widespread in epidemic areas. Later, it received positive reviews from the international medical community and was promoted globally. Most of the masks mentioned above were washable and reusable. Later, with technology advancing, the disposable medical masks we know today finally came around, getting better at protection while being more comfy and light. So, masks have turned into one of the most familiar everyday items for folks now, guarding our daily health. In this book, you'll also see how different countries view masks, plus all the cultural meanings and modern ones, and pick up fun facts like why medical masks are blue. Um, uh, Things like the link between masks and social anxiety, or how masks clash with Western social etiquette, and more. If it weren't for this COVID pandemic, heck, most people might not have even noticed masks. Hope this little mask encyclopedia gives you some fresh thoughts on everyday small stuff. That wraps up our intro to the cultural history of masks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
New books are here, brought to you by Sally's Book Talk, produced with top global publishers for a whole new book info experience.